Friends, today I want to talk about a subject that is shaking all of Can Yaman's followers. For years, we saw him as a symbol, charming, talented, disciplined, almost a perfect role model. He wasn't just an actor, he seemed to truly live through his characters. But now that image has changed. Behind the dazzling appearance, we no longer find the same figure we once admired. Many ask, is this decline or a conscious choice? Perhaps that flawless Can was only a mask. Now we see a more bohemian man, without rules, seeking freedom in parties, excesses, and questionable company. Fans are divided. Some believe he was manipulated, others think he chose this path himself. But is it downfall or freedom? Sometimes what looks like destruction from outside can feel like salvation inside. Yet we know the other side of this lifestyle is harsh. Health, career, reputation, and inner peace slowly fade away. Can is still intelligent, and maybe that is the real tragedy. Knowing what he does and still doing it. For his admirers, the hardest part is accepting that he no longer lives for them, but only for himself. The idol who once united thousands of people in Turkey, Italy, and Spain is no longer the same. Maybe this isn't the end, but a new beginning, though for many, it feels like the end of an era. When I think of Demet Özdemir instead, I see how she has managed to stand tall in a world that destroys so many. Fame in Turkey, especially when projected abroad, is not just a privilege, but a burden. Yet she has faced it with clarity, discipline, and determination. She never fed scandals, choosing silence and distance, forcing people to look at her talent. Her career has grown step by step, with international projects and series that made her a beloved face in Italy, Spain, and beyond. That is not luck. It is the result of work and sacrifice. Demet shines on her own and represents the bright side of this story. She shows that success is possible without losing yourself, that freedom doesn't have to mean self-destruction, and that is why so many continue to admire her. Friends, today I want to talk about Can Yaman. For years, his name was synonymous with success, discipline, and charisma. He was considered a phenomenon, an actor who shone with his own light, admired in Italy, Spain, and Turkey. His smile, his gaze, and his presence inspired thousands of young people who followed him with devotion. But today, that image is in crisis. Next to Sara'S, Can seems lost in a life that doesn't belong to him. His gestures look tired, his smiles no longer convince, and his eyes reflect emptiness. This relationship has affected not only his career, but also his closest bonds, even with his mother, who senses his sadness before anyone else. The damage is clear. Reputation, self-esteem, and dreams are compromised. What worries most is that Can, once the symbol of strength and character, now lives like a prisoner of a role outside the set, trapped in a relationship that consumes him. This is a call. True strength does not lie in surrendering to toxic ties, but in breaking free from them. Can must rediscover the free, proud, and bright man admired by millions. His light does not belong only to him, but to all those who have believed in him. Demet Özdemir, on the other hand, has always been seen as a strong and elegant woman, capable of winning millions not only with her beauty and talent, but also with her independence and character. Despite moments of fragility, she turned difficulties into personal growth. Many contrast her with Can. While he seems overwhelmed by a chaotic lifestyle, she has maintained a cleaner and more coherent image. Demet has reinvented herself, left behind complicated relationships, and built an international career on her own, proving she needs no one to succeed. Even her silence, often criticized, to me is a form of wisdom. In a world that shouts, she speaks through her actions. She broke stereotypes, faced harsh criticism, made misunderstood choices, but never stopped. Her resilience has become her most recognizable trait. The constant comparison with Can is inevitable but unfair. He is seen as an overflowing volcano. She, as a serene river. Both reached fame too quickly, but Demet chose a less destructive path. That is why she became an example for many women, strong without losing sensitivity, independent without giving up tenderness. Today, Demet is not just a successful actress, but a woman who learned to be the owner of herself. Her strength lies in what she does not say, in her silent dignity. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson. Authenticity is not measured by shouting louder, but by living consistently with who you truly are. What stands out most is the serenity she conveys amid media noise. We don't see her in public arguments or embarrassing spectacles. When she speaks in interviews, she does so cautiously, and that reveals something essential. True strength does not always shout. Sometimes it is expressed in daily consistency, in the ability to separate private life from public life. Some believe that Demet has simply been lucky, that she hasn't faced the same temptations as Can. I don't agree. I am sure that she too was offered shortcuts, convenient relationships, or easy contracts that could have given her instant notoriety. Yet she chose another path, to build slowly, without burning stages, without playing the game of those who only seek momentary fame, and that, in an environment that rewards the fleeting and superficial, is an act of great courage. Others interpret her silence about Can as indifference or coldness. I think the opposite. It's maturity. Demet knows that going back makes no sense and that Can's life belongs only to his choices. By not intervening, she protects herself and shows that she has learned from experience, because it's clear that she no longer needs to justify anything. Her career speaks for itself. Looking to the future, I cannot help but compare her attitude with that of many actresses who got lost in destructive relationships or external pressure. Demet, on the other hand, seems to have an inner compass that keeps her stable. She may make mistakes, of course, but she always gives the impression of being in control, and that puts her ahead of those consumed by instability. That's why I think Demet's story is not only that of a Turkish actress with international projection, but of a woman who chose not to fall into the same mistakes as others. While Can approaches a cliff, she moves forward with steady steps. The difference between them becomes more evident every day. He reflects the loss of direction, she symbolizes firmness and dignity. What I admire most about Demet Özdemir is this combination of discretion and strength. She doesn't need to raise her voice to be heard. Her message lies in her choices, in the way she preserves her image and protects her privacy. In an era where everything is exposed and consumed in seconds, she has chosen a slower but steadier path. And that is why I believe that while many names will be forgotten, hers will remain for years. Because in the end, it's not just about talent, it's about character and the ability not to be destroyed by what surrounds you.